Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a really, really good game this afternoon. Alex Marshall MBE versus Billy Jackson, joined in commentary by Kurt Brown, the Australian qualifier who's just knocked out Mervyn King. Good to have you with me, Kurt.
Good to be back, Janice.
I think we're in for an exciting game here. This could be very, very interesting. We've got Alex Marshall MBE, of course, everybody knows, probably the best player in the world. He's won absolutely everything. But he's playing Billy Jackson. Now, 2 years ago, Billy Jackson here won the Super Bowl. He's also won the tour card on here to actually be in these events. So very, very good on the ring, very comfortable here at Blackpool, Kurt, which could make a difference to Billy and his ability to beat Alex this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he's no stranger to the surface. Alex is as we all know, is a great player. Probably, you know, the most well-known name in bowls in the world at the moment. I'm looking forward to this match.
Yeah, I think we said before today that all the games today were going to be close games, but this is certainly one of the top billed ones for this afternoon. Alex's good friend, Paul Foster MBE, got sent out yesterday, got beaten on the last end of a tie-break. He's one of the 4 sisters who have already dropped out of this tournament. And the game's up this afternoon. We could see more fireworks. The man out there that you see in the green shirt, Billy Jackson, known as the Magician, can turn things round with one bowl. It could be very, very interesting. Yeah, there he is, Billy the Magician Jackson. I'm sure he'll probably get called out as that. On the countdown now, they're just practicing. Oh, Billy's saying he's going to refuse to do a walk-on, which sounds about right. But the players will just get ready for the walk-on. We'll leave you in the capable hands of the MC, Richard Madison, and we'll join you again shortly after this players' walk-on, folks.
So there's not a lot you can do in a minute. Oi! At your age, sir, I'm surprised you can last a minute. Who was here when we did Super Bowl? That was good, wasn't it? Well, if I could get the money together, I'd love to. But that was brilliant. It was where the crowd reacted with the players. It was really incredible. So, no doubt we'll hear a little bit of that this afternoon. But, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's nearly time for me to bring your players on. So, good afternoon and welcome to the Co-op Funeral Care International Open here from Blackpool. Let's bring your players on, ladies and gentlemen. He's a former World Indoor Champion. He's the PBA Tour Card Champion. Let's put it together for Billy Jackson. And up against him, ladies and gentlemen, he is, bless you, he is 6 times World Indoor Champion, a Commonwealth Games gold medalist, world ranked at number 2. It's none other than Scotland's Alex Tatty Marshall.
Thanks, Richard. Yes, it's going to be an interesting game, as we mentioned, folks, and both previous world champions. It could all be down to who gets out of the blocks quickest here, Kurt. I feel it's all down to settling in the quickest. As you found yourself this morning, it's all very well. You walk out, people are clapping. There was a bit of whoop in there going on for Billy Jackson, I heard. It's just a question of who settles the earliest, I think.
Yeah, it's you get out there and you have a few roll-up ends and you're feeling good and you're rolling up good, and then all of a sudden the first end starts and yeah, things change a lot. The crowd's a lot more quiet. It's definitely in sets play. The first couple of ends are very important, but I'm sure these two players shouldn't have too much trouble with that.
Well, Billy's setting off with a 30-metre jack. Fairly full length, not a bad start. I do think you'll find that the crowd this afternoon will be in favour of Mr. Jackson, I think, very popular here. Alex, of course, well, where'd you start and where'd you stop with his list of achievements? World rank 2 at the moment, 6 times world champion, Commonwealth Games champion, many, many titles to his name. So, of course, I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by Kurt Brown, who's one of the giant killers of the week so far. He beat Mervyn King in this morning's first game up. But, congratulations, Kurt. It was a good game. You played very well.
It was, I settled in well in the first set to the rink and to the conditions. Slipped off a little bit in the second set, but managed to play 2 good bowls in the tiebreak, and sometimes that's all you need to do.
We talked about that in commentary yesterday, actually.
We did.
And also our sponsors, the Co-op, are very pleased to hear that you're powered by the Co-op chocolate milk. I got told I had to mention that by our sponsor that's here.
I think within half an hour of getting off the green, I was down at Co-op getting a nice litre bottle of chocolate milk to celebrate.
Marvellous, I'm sure. Leslie, who's in reception, will have heard that, and she said, make sure he gives us another plug. So I said, fine, we can do that, no problem, especially on the chocolate milk front. But, well, a little trail off the bowls there, gets the jack for Billy.
2 green. 2. No, gap is 2 inches.
Marker for this game, Francis Fletcher. And for you YouTube streaming watchers, if you do have any questions you want to put to either Kurt while he's with me, or Francis Fletcher's joining me for the next game, so any questions on rules, etc., etc., we'll try and get them answered for you by Francis. Oh, good ball from Alec there. He's probably, yeah, he's managed to get the second ball out as well, so it's back down to 1 to Billy Jackson. Alex, just coming to have a look at this, see if it's worth going for the bowl again. Depends on where Billy puts this, I feel. If he slots this bowl in. Still be pulling up short here.
Sort of protected his shot bowl a little bit there. Fortunate finish, actually.
Sounds like we've got some viewers in Mexico listening in, Kurt. I know we had a lot on from Australia for this morning's game. I can't understand why we had that, but yes, it was nice to hear a lot of your compatriots were listening in. I know Des Can sent me a message while we were in commentary. Oh, great bowl there. Wow, I think this might be the way that this game goes. Folks, sit back and enjoy this one. Here we see that bowl again. Absolutely perfect weight. Just rests off Billy's bowl. For shot. Perfect. One of the key factors of this game might be Alex has been here for a couple of days, getting as many practices in as he can. Billy has just arrived. He had some club commitments over the weekend, so couldn't get down any earlier. As I say, he always feels at home at Blackpool. To be just under the weight here, I think, Billy. Nice crowd out there, Kurt. There was quite a few in this morning, even at 9:45 a.m. to watch your game. It's that would feel slightly different to when you've practiced having the crowd in there.
2.5 feet.
Yeah, and they were quite a it was quite a good crowd to play in front of. Actually, they made a little bit of noise. It was, compared to yesterday, it was very quiet. But today was a much more involved audience, that's for sure. And by the sounds of it, they're loving this game already as well.
Better line here from Billy.
One red.
Just overplayed it.
It is, yes.
And this settling down early stages here. A good track here.
Yeah, looks fly. His weight's not bad as well.
2 red. 12 pass, play right. 8 inches.
Still room for the draw there for Billy. Needs to adjust his weight though.
Well, we've got a bit of action.
Certainly adjusted his weight there. Split them both out. Well, the Magician's done it again. 2 down, 1 up in 1 bowl. There we go. Certainly adjusted his weight. There you go. Commentator's curse. I thought he might have tried to draw that. No. Still plenty of room for Alec to put it back.
Good line. I'm a bit shy. Billy, make the most of this one, make this one count.
Alex just keeping still there, didn't want to disturb the player on the mat. Well, looks a good track now. Is he here?
Nope.
Seen that so many times. There was a couple of times in your game in particular this morning that there was the chance to make a count.
One shot, Billy Jackson.
And Mervyn didn't take it against you, and again Billy could have got 2 in there and didn't.
Well, he sort of didn't find his weight with his first 2 bowls on that hand. He obviously then played a terrific conversion shot. Still trying to find his weight on that side of the rink. Sometimes the hardest shots to draw are the shots where you've got the most room as well, because you tend not to concentrate as hard. Always said 6 inches of room's easier to draw than 2 feet.
Yeah, you're right there. It looked such an easy draw there just to get inside Alex's bowl. Good line here. Nice swinging forehand this. That's better from Billy. Billy Jackson's ranked 22 in the world at the moment, and I think he was the closest of the ranking players outside the top 16 to be in this event. But I was talking to Jamie Chesney in the game prior to this about this ranking points and the fact that there's players here have got through first rounds, so they've picked up ranking points, and if they qualify again next year, it could put some of the top 16 at the moment in jeopardy. And Billy Jackson's one of the ones that if he could tie a few games together in this tournament, he was in all 3, struggled at the Scottish, didn't get through at the Worlds. This is his last throw of the dice this year, and then it would be back to qualifying for Billy. And we all know that isn't the easiest thing to do. Oh, Billy, can you make that adjustment? Sits off his own bowl.
Yeah, it's a good shot there from Billy.
1 green and measure.
Yeah, Francis had just had a look at that head because he thinks it could even be too green. So he made sure he had a look when it wasn't going to affect either of the players. Alec going more direct at this. Can he get 2 green bowls away? Jack solid would do him as well.
Settle for the jack. Ooh, took his back bowl out.
Well, his bowl that came through was a toucher. The ball that touched the jack will remain live if it stayed in the confines of the rink. Francis just marking the touches. 1 green. That means that Alex's touching ball must have gone out the side of the rink. Lots of room there, though. You'd expect both of these players to draw the last 2 bowls close.
That's a great shot.
Oh, a fantastic bowl to the edge of the rink.
Off the ditch, 2.5 feet.
2.5 feet.
There you go.
2.5 feet.
Billy's bowl 2.5 feet off the edge of the rink.
2.5 feet's probably daunting to a lot of players, but there's a lot of room for this man.
It's a good line, very close to those sideboards.
Just pulling up, I think.
1 shot, Billy Jackson.
Set score 1-2 after 3 innings.
Well, this game we expected it to be tight. This is the running shot of Alex. He just gets the wrong side of the jack and his bowl goes off his own bowl, I think, to the left of your screen, which meant he didn't really want to drop his last bowl into the gutter because he would have dropped a count. I think that might be the way that this game goes. They both aren't frightened to run at jacks and bowls. It could be an explosive game.
Jack length 29.5 metres. 29.5.
Great track from Billy there.
He's opting to play the tighter side of the rink, Billy is. Alex following him down. He's turned his back on it.
And all he has to do is really adjust his weight here. He's just underplayed it again. Does the temperature change when you're out there on the rink? Has it changed much this morning, or?
Yeah, well, I found that in the second set it actually got a little bit colder on the rink, and that's the reason that I sort of went off my game. Well, that's the excuse I'm using anyway. But no, I did find that the temperature dropped and the rink did change a little bit actually.
1 red.
Not a huge amount, but you know, it did. I think it slowed the track down a little bit. It felt to me. Mervyn did comment on it at the same time about the change in temperature and as a result the change in the rink as well.
Yeah, it does. It's bound to affect it.
1 red.
Alex has changed his hand here and trying to beat Billy's last bowl. Doesn't really want to leave a ledge there on the backhand, but he's finished. Good track.
Opportunity for Billy here.
We'll get one roll out of Alex, a shot bowler. He could make 3 here.
Yeah, all it takes is just playing just slightly over the draw. Is he here for it?
I don't need to tip that one.
Not even sure whether that's got shot or not.
I think it's
Favour 1 green.
Francis is just saying favour 1 green. We were talking earlier about the umpires and the markers out there, how much the players rely on their eyesight. They're certainly very quick to let the players know. There was a shout in your game, Kurt, that Alan Thornhill was bang on the money when it came to the measure.
absolutely. Like, I think there was about $500,000 in it, and he's called it. That particular bowl, we were both shocked that it drew the shot. Mervyn asked if it was second shot, and Alan goes, no, it's the shot, and neither of us could believe it.
Yes, I think there was much head shaking going on at that time.
I think I was even shaking my head and I drew the shot.
But no, we do rely on these umpires, and Francis very, very quickly chocking the bowl of Alex. He'll have given it so long after the bowl's come to rest. Make sure it doesn't fall over, and then he has the right to chock it. And he'll remove the bowls that aren't involved in the measure. Yeah, Tony Hatch, the umpire, being called out to let us know which bowl's shot. Tony's one of the newbies to the umpiring team. It sounds like the one red's possibly been declared. Alex is hugging the mat there, ready to go. And Tony started his first full shift at the World Championships in January. This is his second full event. Seeing the shot now of Alex's come into the head. Just got a little feather off Billy's short bowl, which slowed it down enough. Still tight this, 3-2 to Alex.
Jack length 29 metres, 29.
So far, every other game in this event has gone the way of the men in green. So, if you're a believer in these odd things happening, it's every other game that's gone to the men in green. Which would mean, as Rob Paxson was in red the last game and won it, it would be Billy Jackson, whether he can keep that thread going. It's under the line. If it reaches, it'll get a piece of the jack. Just sat out, I think.
1 red.
It's always nice when your opponent draws a back toucher and you manage to move the jack with your first bowl. Certainly makes his job easier from now on.
Yeah, it's certainly made the head look easier for Billy.
Shot ball now, level with the jack.
It's an inch short of jack high.
I don't think Alex would be overly happy with that one. I think he would have tried to be reaching there. Get the shot before Billy does. Take it away from him.
He's played this tight line again, but he's got to have enough weight now to reach. Still chance for Alec to just tuck this away, get inside the green bowl. That's what his ideal target will be. track.
Come home pretty hard now. Makes it
One red.
a little bit more juicy.
I don't think Billy will be short at this.
Well, we've seen him a couple of ends ago with his forehand drive. It was a pretty accurate shot. It looks like
He's just played the timer again.
yes.
It would be the perfect bowl if he could get into the gap and get the jack, which is
It's
on
close.
track for it.
Great shot. Great shot.
Three green.
3 shots.
Yeah, great bowl. We'll see it again there. It's a bit of his own bowl onto shot ball, and Jack moves with it. I think that's probably why he played it with that sort of pace, Kurt, because if he'd have really hit it hard and there'd been any jack movement, it'd have left a lot of room for Alec to draw, whereas now, still room, he'll play through this, promote his own bowls, and he turned his back on that.
Well,
He's got second bowl out of it.
he wasn't happy, was he? As soon as
No.
he let it go,
One green.
something happened. Have to be pretty happy with the end result of that.
Ball past the jack.
8 inches past jack high.
What's the gap between the two balls, please?
3 inches.
Well, I think Billy was trying to work out whether it was worth him going for the red bowl, but if he flicks his own green bowl out instead, at this stage of the game, just worth trying to slot another in, I think.
Ooh.
Gone for it. Brave bowl this.
He's under. Look at the jack. Oh,
Well, as we would say over here, 1 in, 1 out. He's still going to hold 1 shot. A brave shot there, though, Kurt, because if he'd have taken his own ball out, it would have left Alec holding shot.
it was a brave shot, but I suppose when you're playing somebody like Alex, those sort of opportunities probably don't come along very often.
Yeah, 3 all after 5 ends. Here we see that shot again, just under the line, but gets the jack solid. He was looking to take the red bowl out clean.
I think he probably would have had to play a little bit more weight than he actually did to get underneath Alex's to get to that red bowl. More weight the better there, I felt. Once those bowls start turning with that sort of weight, they really start to
29
turn.
meters, 29.
Sticking to the longer length, Jack. End 6. Play 2 sets of 9 ends. It's a very good line here from Billy. What's his weight like?
It's a pretty fair opener.
Well, Alex just not settling down on his weight here. Can't Billy make the opportunity pay for him?
Overplayed it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Slipping past.
I still feel that Billy's got to get a closer bowl in here. Alex is shaking his head. It's one of the things that I find is always amplified when you sat here in the commentary box, Kurt. You see the body language of players a lot more.
Oh dear.
2 green.
I don't think that was the ideal now. It does set up a Nice little trail target for Alex.
6 inches short of jack height.
Well, being told that was 6 inches short of jack height means he'll know he'll have to reach up to this. Can't just play it off a draw weight.
Very close here. Great shot.
Touche was the word there, I think. That was all down to Billy's last bowl, really.
Yeah.
Set up a very good target.
It was pretty unfortunate, for sure, there, the way that head sat.
Good
Played a
track.
tight line. It's, you know, yeah.
This needs to run.
It's a good shot.
1 green.
It's made it for shot as well.
I think we'll see another weighted shot here. 3 seconds.
4 feet from the ditch.
5.5.
5.5 feet from the ditch.
What do? Do you draw the shot or do you take the bowl out?
Well, again, it's one of those positions you were saying at the last end. Do you take the opportunity when it's there? He's just taking his time. A little bit of a disturbance in the crowd, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Hammer call.
Called a timeout. Wants to take his time over this. It's a big decision, really. He's just asked the audience what they think. I think he's having a vote out there. Does he draw or does he drive? Oh, that's good to hear, though. Top players having a bit of banter with the crowd. Gone for the drive. I think he would have made his own mind up before he asked. Close. Very close. Perfect. Well, fair play to those in the crowd that shouted for the drive. But,
3 shots, Alex Marshall.
I think he played the right shot there.
Set score 6-3.
that was his first runner to flick the jack through to the ditch. It then meant wherever Billy put his bowl, Alec had the target of taking it off, and he got it perfect. He even had a bit of a banter with the crowd to boot as well. The thing is that the crowd is so close, you do hear them muttering about, well, he should be drawing this, or he should be laying a runner at this, and it's part of the reason that our commentary box isn't greenside and we have no view of the actual rink from the commentary box. We're just seeing what you see on your screens. Because it is such a low ceiling here at Blackpool that the slightest noise echoes. Even a rattle of a sweetie paper. Well, after such a tight first 5 ends, that 3 has made a big difference to this first set. 6-3 to the world number 2. Alec will want to power away now in this set.
It's probably a must-win end here for Billy.
It's a good track.
Very close here.
It's to just run a touch, I think.
Ooh. Good shot.
1 red.
Well, I'm sure there'll be spectators supporting, watching YouTube from both of these players' clubs. But particularly, I'll just give a quick shout out to the lovely Diane. I'm hoping you sat at home quite comfortable Watching your hubby draw a lovely shot there. Marshall. Very supportive of Alex and all his bowls. Very supportive of bowls in general.
9 inches.
And a lovely lady to boot. Billy's going again here. His own bowl through is perfect.
Oh, oh.
Does it go out? And his own bowl's just followed through to the respot. Could be a couple down. Francis will put the jack on the respot. He sorts everything out first, removes all the dead bowls first before he puts the jack on the respot. Yeah, 2 green. It's actually both have gone through with it.
It's a good shot there from Billy, but a maximum result, really.
It's a bit similar to the last end, Kurt, really, because wherever Alex puts this bowl, Billy has got the chance of taking it off to count the 2. So is it going to be that sort of a game? I ask myself. It depends. This looks to be running. This looks to be running.
Oh,
1 red.
1 red.
It's counting.
3 feet.
Wonder if Billy's going to ask the crowd what he should play here. He's going again.
He's obviously got the same answer off the crowd as Alec.
He's close.
Close.
Good shot.
That's really good bowls. That's just showing how the game of singles should be played. A lot of spectators, I know, if you drive and you don't draw, going, oh, I don't understand why you didn't draw. Well, that's why you don't. Because at the end of the day, you can get a count if you take your opponent's closest bowl off. It's all about how many bowls you've got closer to the jack than your opponent. Here we go again. Perfect drive. Touche from the last end. Takes Alex's bowl out. This is the draw shot of Alex's. Going in. Just goes past the jack, which sets up the target. Billy can see it. And he went for it. Certainly exciting game this for the crowd out there.
Jack length 29 metres.
Well, it's very important that Billy scored that in. Last thing you want to be doing is chasing down 5 or 6 shots against Alex Marshall.
Yeah, he's only one behind now. 2 ends to play.
Exciting stuff.
There's been some very good games of bowls so far this week. We're only into day 2. It's a good track from Alex here.
Good opening goal.
Alex, gap is 6 inches and it's 4 inches past jack height.
Very precise instructions there of Francis Fletcher, letting Billy know exactly where that bowl is in relation to the jack. Looks on a good track. All on his pace.
He's played this very, very well. That's a great shot.
Oh, touch of the jack as well might have made him 2.
Jack level off, just shot.
Probably see a similar shot here, I'd say, from Alex.
Now the bowl looks to be jack level.
One or two.
I think he's choosing which hand to play it off at the moment.
If he's going backhand, he's probably going big, I'd say. Yep.
Needs to bend. Got a piece off the bowl first. Looked for a while to be going right through the gap. Got great result. A lot of room there now to draw. You can see where the jack is. It's 2 to red, but
3.5 feet.
I have a feeling that Billy Jackson will draw this.
Hope so. It's just a matter of how close it's going to be.
That looks a good line.
Yeah, well played here. Touch would be even better. That's a brilliant shot.
Great ball from Billy.
Brilliant.
Couldn't ask for any better than that, really, when the jack's been moved. Just showing the quality of both of these players. Billy Jackson might be the man in green today, but he's ex-world champion. He won the world pairs numerous times with his partner David Gale.
Oh, great effort there.
Billy will just want to repeat, really. He won't want to set up a target, though. Doesn't want to give Alex anything to play at. But it's good for pace again. Might just not have made the trip to make second. Just one green, but he'll be happy with that. One green would put him all square playing the last end. 6 times world champion Alex Marshall walking to the mat. Just playing the draw. Needs to just adjust his last weight.
One shot, Billy Jackson.
No, it does make it an exciting set. 6-all playing the last. Can almost be played like a tie-break end. Billy Jackson's bolt coming in there, gets to right up to the jack. Perfect bolt. Francis Fletcher marks it there. Yeah, 6-all. It's almost like a tie-break end now, Kurt. It doesn't really matter. You're not bothered if you drop a 3 or a 4. You want shot out of it more than anything. Win that set.
I think we'll be seeing a little bit of aggression on this end at some stage.
Yeah, it's always one of those things. You want to win that first set, and it means that whatever happens, then you go into a tie-break.
Have you got a tip? Who do you think's going to win this end?
Well, 6 times world champion has got the last bowl. Oh, and Billy's led with a bit of a loose opener. With these two guys, because they're both aggressive players and can play the big bowl, I would think with Alec having that final bowl, that could be the deciding factor here, but we'll find out if that's a decent call from me or not. Alex is over with this. Always nervy in these sort of one-end situations though, Kurt, because you don't want to be short with your first bowl, whatever you do, because a back bowl will always come into play possibly later on in an end.
There's nothing worse when your first bowl's short when you're playing a last end, that's for sure. You give yourself not a chance. It's a better bowl there from Billy.
My last one.
3 feet.
3 feet of adjustment needed from Alex. Looks better.
Well played.
Last bowl or yours? Last bowl, 9 inches past jack high, 6-inch gap.
Billy's first bowl doesn't look so bad now.
Oh, we might see. Oh, he's sticking with the forehand. Surprised me that. I thought he might have changed to his backhand. But I suppose the killer bowl, if he can get it in, is the draw, which leaves him the big runner with his last bowl if he needs it. Just overplayed this though.
Ooh.
1 red.
What's the gap between the red and green bowl, please?
Red and green bowl, 4 inches.
Alex has got 2 bowls now to Billy's 1 green left to come to this end. Interesting here, Kurt. Does he go for cover or does he try and get another in close? It looks like he's going for cover.
Tactically, it's the correct shot to play here. At the moment, Billy's sort of really only got a 1.5 bowl target there. If you're trying to draw another one and fatten it up, I think Billy's, if he's going to drive, well, he needs to bowl clean now. That's his only option.
Can he get the bowl clean without a piece of the jack through that gap, or will it take his own bowl out?
Well, he'll need to get it on the right hand side. Can flick it straight out there through that gap.
If he plays it with the right sort of pace, even if he gets the jack, it might stay with it and go into the ditch.
Interesting to see what he plays here. Neither shot is wrong, whether he reaches up on the backhand or whether, but I think whatever he plays, I think it has to probably be on the backhand. Any shot on the backhand reaching up.
Backhand it is.
Really pick his weight here.
Gone for just over the draw. He's gone for the killer bowl. This can get into the red bowl. It gives Alex no shot. I think he's just overplayed it.
One shot in the first set, Alex Marshall.
No, couldn't have asked for a tighter set there. Came down to the last end. This was a shot of Alex's that came in to get shot and stayed there for the remainder of the end. Bit of a natter between the two players there. And Billy dropped out of the top 16 a few years back. He's now desperate to get back into it. But then, when you qualify, you've got to try and play against the likes of these players to get through a few rounds. It's not easy.
It's a good opening here from Alex. Start the second set off the way we started the first set.
3 inches.
Yeah, both players have played really well. Packed crowd in there now. Be delighted to be watching this game of superb bowls. Look at this.
It's brilliant.
What's that for a reply?
Doesn't get much better than those two bowls.
2.5 inches short of jack height.
It's close here again from Alex.
Very close.
Really got the oh, brilliant.
Well, you couldn't ask for 3 better opening bowls to an end than those 3 bowls.
Up on the shot bowl, 10 inches.
Good track here.
Can Billy put it back again?
Light on, I think.
Yeah, that was all. Just his weight.
1 red.
Alex will be keen to get another one in here. It's Billy's last 2 seconds at the moment.
Just be happy if he's behind. He was looking to draw another one in. Anything there? And that's not a bad bowl.
1 red.
My last from the jack, please.
3 feet.
Bit of room still there. Hard track again. He's adjusted his weight.
Close here.
Better here.
It's a great shot, Billy. Great shot.
Oh, what a bowl.
Masterclass of draw shot here from these two players.
Yeah, the thing is with these two, they can both play the big runners, the timers, all over games both of these players have got.
3 or 4 touches there this end. Alex trying to draw the soft little touch on the forehand here. It's a good track. It's pretty close.
Tell you what, this is very close.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Well,
Ridiculous. Great shot.
what a game of bowls.
One red.
Francis Fletcher will be running out of chalk in a bit. He'll be having to go to his umpire's kit and get another spray chalk.
Be a bit of a timeout used here.
Yeah, I think Billy's having a look at what angle can he get his own bowl onto the jack, the toucher, in the
Timeout call.
middle of your screen.
Billy has 3 timeouts remaining.
These are the sort of shots that Billy Jackson comes up with and you think, where did he see that from? I think to most of us we'd just see perhaps drawing up to Alex's bowl, trying to sit it out for 2. But he's definitely looking at something there, Kurt. If the plant gets it for him.
It's risky shot up there on the backhand. Anything could happen. It's a bit of a lottery. I think he'll stick to the he's sticking to the forehand.
Sometimes that's when you've got to use your timeouts. If your head's saying, well, I fancy playing a timer. Unfortunately, in this case, he's played the right sort of weight to rest the red ball out, but just not the
One shot,
line.
Alex Marshall.
See that shot of Alex's. Great ball, perfect weight, perfect line. Well, we told you you were in for some good games of bowls today. Saw one seed go out this morning. Well, number 10, Mervyn Kings, on his homeward bound trek from this event
28.5 metres.
at the hands of my co-commentator Kurt Brown from Australia. We then saw Robert Paxton beat Tony Webb. We now got Alex versus Billy, and then straight after this we've got Mark Dors versus Chris Gale. Great afternoon of bowls for you there. Stick with us. This game's proving to be as it was billed. Oh, great reply from Billy there. Another toucher. I tell you what, Francis is definitely going to run out of chalk after this game.
It's 3.5 feet now.
Overplayed his weight here. Killer track.
Yeah, just over adjusted it really. Billy will want to slot another in here.
Played this pretty well again, Billy. Let's get right in behind the jack.
2 greens.
Still some room there for Alex.
On a very good line.
Well played.
Election to the jack, please.
Jack high.
Play it down the other hand here. Try and get to the bowl, rest it out, get a little piece of the jack. He's watching it.
Seems to be pretty close here. Oh no, he's going now. Oh. Unlucky.
2 red.
Alex might change his hand here. Now.
I think he's just looking if Billy goes at the head and gets a short red bowl onto the jack, where does the jack go? It might even ricochet off the green bowl just behind the jack.
Alex has 3 timeouts remaining.
I think he was just checking if it did, and it went out to the left-hand side of your screen, whether his red back bowl would count to a respot at that side. He might need to cover the respot at the other side.
Too happy.
No, he didn't look too happy with that.
What are you going to play here, Billy?
What can you magician up out here? Similar bowl down the forehand. Now he's got a lot of weight.
Got a hold. Oof.
2 shots, Alex Marshall.
He does get them away with a bit of a spin, so they do sometimes hold up for him.
Set score 3-0 after 2 ends.
We see again that perfect drawing shot of Alex's. He put himself in a bit of trouble, 1 short, 1 through, but then drew perfectly with his third bowl. Well, this is the time that you don't want the seed running away from you. Billy just lost the first set only by 1 shot at the last end of the first set. He's now 3-0 down in a set. He has to win.
27.
Very important for Billy again here to win this end. Get the mat and throw it long, as he was doing early in the first set. Alex has left him a little bit of room here.
Good track. Interesting that Billy's choosing to play this backhand away from our commentary position.
Good shot.
And that's obviously why. In previous years he's stuck to
4
the
inches.
forehand side in this direction.
Very close here. Oh,
Well, what can you say?
1 red.
Jack between the bowls, or is it past?
It is, it's between the bowls, yeah.
Alex's bowl this side, to a
through
left.
my practice sessions,
In
Janice, I
short.
was going into this morning's game thinking that I'd be playing the wider side of the rink, but I actually preferred to play the backhand away from the commentary box this morning myself. The rink was a little bit different to when we were practicing. Good shot here. That's a
Got
brilliant
them on
shot.
too well.
1 green.
Well, we've seen everything in this game. Most ends, it's virtually changed with every bowl sent. the World Bowls Tour Awards ceremony in January, there is an award for Match of the Year. And currently, this could certainly be seen in the contenders for that. He didn't like that from his hand, and it's all of what, 8 inches through?
One green.
Wow.
Incredible touch.
Oh, it's nice to see Alex out there smiling and having that bit of banter with the crowds. He won the International Open here the first year it was held at the Blackpool Indoor Bowls Club here at Newton Hall. It's part of the Partington's
8-inch
Holiday
down.
Centres group, and great hospitality is had for all players here. So Alex has definitely got some support here. This one looks overplayed to me. No chance for Billy. He'll be happy that he's holding one shot, so he's on the card in this second set. And as you mentioned before, Kurt, it means he can go back to his full length jack or his longer length jack.
I think you'll see him draw a second shot here. He's playing well enough.
All on his pace. Somebody urging it on in the crowd there. Go on, Billy,
One
they
shot,
said.
Billy Jackson.
Well, I'm glad you haven't put your house on that shout of it being a draw for second bowl.
Score 3-1 after 3 eights.
Sorry?
That was a great shot there from Billy.
Fantastic bowl. Got the 1-2 perfectly.
Javelin, 29.5 metres, 29.5.
Billy, as we thought, was throwing a little bit longer. Get this first bowl right on it.
Looks close.
Well played. Well played. Unfortunately for Billy, as we've seen a couple of times, it's just not good enough against this guy.
It's also putting the marker out to Alex that Billy's not going away quickly. He's going to win this game in straight sets, the world number 2. He's going to have to fight for it.
What was I through?
3.5 feet.
Banking on himself to draw again. Looks close.
He's done it
Wow.
again. 3 or 4 times he's done that.
One red.
The gap, please, Ryan.
On the shot,
Yes, please.
inch and a half.
It's got me a room, then.
Yeah.
Well, Billy might go to try and just clip this bowl out. Reaches it, got to clip the bowl out. Piece of the jack would be good.
Is he going to hold up?
Must just be a bowl under. Gets his own ball solid. Oh, I thought it might have rocked onto the jack. Right sort of pace for what he wanted.
Might have covered that spot out there now.
Certainly a good crowd out there that are thoroughly enjoying this game. Is this going to run?
I think Billy probably go a lot quicker this time and go for that bowl. He's a little bit wide, he kills it. He's got the spot covered out there.
Like you said before, Kurt, it's one of those ones, it's an opportunity.
Sticking with the same sort of shot that he played with the previous bowl. Difficult shot.
Needs to bend now. Needs to bend. Oh, great effort. If he could have clipped that ball out, it would have been worth 2 or 3.
Have a look at this.
Wow. Oh, he might have just rocked back.
One shot, Alex Marshall.
Set score 4-1 after 4 ends.
That still takes another end away. 4-1 now. That was that brilliant. You could show virtually an action replay of each end of this game to see Alec Marshall put a shot in like that.
Jack length 25 metres, 25.
Good starter there from Alex. Well, for Billy's sake, I'll say it again. This is I think a pretty important end for him to win here. Both times I've said that he's won the end.
I'll see if you're one of his lucky charms then.
It's a pretty good start.
Mind you, I was hearing this morning from Richard Madison, the CEO of the
Jump on
World
the
Bowls
shot,
Tour, came in to
9
cover
inches.
your commentary with me while after he'd done his introductions, and he was saying that you charmed one or two of the older lady club members that were determined to come in and watch you play this morning, Kurt. So you've got a nice little following here at Blackpool now.
Off the length.
I think it's lovely though with the spectators at some of the
Super.
venues. They get the chance to talk to the players. Most of the players are fairly obliging and they'll have a bit of a natter with them. Some players like to keep themselves to themselves, and that's all down to individuality and what suits you in preparation. But the spectators do like a little bit of a natter, a bit of banter with the players. Do it again here from Billy.
1 green.
Looks a good track. Are we here again? Yeah, I do think so. Sat in for shot, I would think.
One red.
It is
Billy must wonder what he's got to do.
Jack high.
Like I say, virtually at least one bowl and end. Alex is coming up with a
Yes.
killer bowl like that. Going big here. Might get it off the short red bowl. 1-2.
Oh,
Certainly get Francis busy this game, running after the bowls. I think Alex just going for a little bit of cover here. And he's got the 4-1 lead. He doesn't have to start doing anything drastic yet. Whereas Billy needs to be counting at these ends now. One of those aero bowls sitting on an angle again. Talking of angles, I think that's what Billy's just having a look at. Does his green bowl short of the jack get a piece onto the jack? That's what he's looking at, Kurt. Forehand onto the red bowl.
Billy has 2 timeouts
you
remaining.
can really play the shot any hand. Backhand, same result. Could pull the jack through, set the red bowl. If he's tight, get that same result. As you just said, the angles look pretty good. Play the forehand.
Looks close.
This is the weight he needed to play. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Well, that's what he didn't want. He could actually be 3 down here. I think that's why he'd looked at that, see if his bowl would go. 3 shots. Well, now that's put a whole different complexion on this
6-1 after 5 ends.
second set.
That was rough.
Super shot of Alex's again. Just show that replay on repeat to teach anybody that's new and starting at the game of bowls how to draw a shot. Billy Jackson just scratching his head there, not sure what to do. That was very unfortunate though. That's what sometimes happens though, Kurt, if things are just going against you. The rubs just start going against you as well.
Jack length 27.5 metres. 27.5.
Well, it certainly wasn't the time for him to get a result like that. He played it quite well, and
4 ends left to play, and Billy Jackson's 6 shots behind.
tough ask.
Needs to score 7 shots to win this second set. Take us into a tie-break. We've only had 2 tie-breaks so far. Both tie-breaks have seen seeds drop out at the end of them. And one of them was powered by Co-op chocolate milk. I really must try this before the end of the week. It's
you?
a definite must.
Do yourself a favour and head down the road. 1 litre bottle of Co-op chocolate milk. Beautiful.
We now know the secret to how to play well.
Played this pretty well here, Billy.
Close.
It's all happening for him.
Yeah, gone through
One
the gap
red.
there. Yeah, Francis just confirming 1 red.
It's really difficult as well when you're out there playing and, you know, you're in this situation against Alex and, you know, the last end he was very unfortunate, and even there to slip through that gap, it's quite frustrating.
Just wants a similar bowl now. Touch on the jack would be very good. Yeah, normally the conversation drifts to cake in the commentary box when I'm involved, Kurt, but now we're into chocolate milk. Just to give it the plug again, Co-op chocolate milk. It's just for our sponsors. Just ball that tight again, so there's still a chance.
It's going for the bowl here. Oh no. No, no,
right
no,
through
no,
the
no.
gap.
No, no, no.
Unbelievable.
One shot, Alex Marshall.
Set score 8-1 after 6 ends.
Well, it's 3 very unfortunate bowls there for Billy.
Yeah, so it's really put Alex in a very, very comfortable position here at the Co-op Funeral Care International Open 2017. Co-op, very good sponsors of the game. They sponsor this event and the Scottish International Open. They play in Perth in November. Huge sponsors of the game at
14
grassroots level as well. And it's good to have such sponsors involved in events. We couldn't do it without them, with or without chocolate milk.
See what we can do about getting them shipped to Australia, those chocolate milks.
Well, the thing to do, Kurt, is to have a word with the sponsors and see if it can be done as a special order for you. I'm sure Leslie, who's here from the representing the Co-op,
4 inches short of jack.
if you have a word. Well, Billy's attacking early. Needs to get a piece off the short bowl though.
1 red.
Well, Alex can just afford to make sure he covers the bowls. Billy needs a count. 3 ends to play. Need to score 8 shots in 3 ends. It's a big ask at best of
Your
times,
back
but when
bowl,
you're facing down the
2 inches.
6 times world champion, previous International Open champion, the only one that's not on Alex Marshall's list is the Scottish at the moment.
Something's going to happen here. Oh, well played.
Well, he got one out of it. I think he was hoping to stop for two, Kurt.
Oh, he has to win this end to stay in the match. Track here from Alex. Oh, he's been drawing on this forehand. It's a bit close.
This is a game. Yeah, you could just put, like I say, that replay on repeat. And we've had one of those every end from Alex. Scratching his head. Perhaps thinking to himself, why can I only do one of those every end?
This to stay alive in the match for Billy. It's close. To hold up a little
He's
bit.
got his own bowl.
Oh.
One shot, second set, and the match.
Oh, that's Alex Marshall takes a shot in the second set, 9-1. Oh, the players having a bit of a chat there. It was a bit one-sided in the end there, Kurt, for the second set. Here we see again one of Alex's brilliant draw shots. Forehand draws today. He's come up with a killer virtually at every end.
Yeah, it wasn't the score in the second set certainly didn't indicate the quality of the match. Like I said, Alex just got that one bowl on the forehand nearly every end. Just didn't matter how close Billy was, he just drew the shot. I think Billy can be quite happy with the way he played. He was unfortunate there a couple of times, just over the halfway point in the second set.
Alex be quite happy to take his place in the second round. Playing Billy Jackson on the draw was not exactly what you wanted. It's a tough draw, any of the qualifiers. But he takes his place in the second round, where he will face the winner of our next game. In our next game coming up, we have the two local heroes. Mark Dors, he's in the top 16, local man, lots of support here, versus Chris Gale, qualifier from the PBA rankings, Homester. All to play for. Good game coming up, Kurt. Thanks for your company in this game. I believe you're joining me later on today.
Yeah, well,
bring some chocolate milk with you.
I'll bring you over a bottle, Janice. I've got to duck down to Co-op anyway and get some laundry detergent. I've got to do some washing.
Join us after this short break, folks. Thanks for your company.
Thank you.
Enjoy your first match, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, there were some bowls there, weren't there? Okay. Are you ready for your next one? Bring them on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring your players on for the next match. Welcome to the Co-op Funeral Care International Open here at Blackpool. Right, your first player, ladies and gentlemen, he is the European Professional Bowls Association ranked #1. He's from this very own club. It is, of course, Chris Gale. And up against Chris, ladies and gentlemen, he broke into the top 16 last season. He reached the semi-final of the World Pairs this January, world ranked at number 16. It is Blackpool's Mark Dors.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cooperative Funeral Care International Open 2017, live from Blackpool Newton Hall Indoor Bowls Club, part of the Partington's Holiday Centres. And I'm delighted to be joined in commentary. I did mention before that he was going to be hot-footing it off the rink. One of our officials from the World Bowls Tour, Francis Fletcher. Going to be an interesting game, this, Francis.
Hot foot is correct, and hot everything else. It's certainly getting warm in the arena, and we've had an excellent entree, and hopefully this is an excellent main course to follow it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get too hot in this commentary box. It's nice and chilled, I think, is the word for it. Lightly chilled. Yeah, in for an exciting game here. Both of these players are local players, the homesters. They both play on these rinks here, and they both play on rink 2 for nationals. Chris has put a lot of time in over the last few weeks on this rink. Does change slightly when the stands go in. And he was in commentary with me yesterday and he was saying it had changed slightly. Mark Dors just got himself into the top 16, but he's struggling. He lost first round at the World Championships. Ditto at the Scottish International Open. Just having a struggle to maintain his top 16 place, so needs this win on the cards. Often interesting when it's an all homesters tie. There'll be mixed emotions in the crowd, I would think.
I would suspect Newton Hall's going to win it, but it'll be a partisan crowd, one side and the other. Be family favourites, club mates. Should be interesting. Cagey start though, but they only get 2 trial ends and then they're straight into the match. So we'll just see how it pans out for an end or two.
Mark Dors is one of the players that doesn't worry about the shot clock, very quick off the mark to play.
There are some players where as soon as the bowl stops, you're about to press the button on the shot clock and the bowl's away.
I don't think Chris liked that. They played each other in the charity game at Potters earlier in the year. We played a charity game on one of the spare nights. It was a mixed pairs and I had the pleasure of playing with Mark Dors. We played against Julie Forrest and Chris Gale. And I'm always going to mention that game because Mark Dors and I came out winners. But at the end of the day, the winners were the charity that we played for. But Mark played Chris then. They'll have met a few times in nationals and various different events. The home club here. It's all about who can get out of the blocks quickest.
Forward.
I think the charity game at Potter's, it had an unfortunate beginning in as much that a player was taken ill, so the slot needed to be filled. But it's become a tradition, very enjoyable with a purpose, and everybody joins in with the spirit of it.
Well, Chris really wants to be getting a decent second bowl in here. This needs to just make it past the short red bowls.
Struggling. Oh, beats one.
2 shots, mark Dors.
There's a nice view of the co-op mats there. We were talking about this yesterday as one of the players, Steve Halmite, was making sure he particularly put the mat in a certain direction. Saying that a lot of players have different superstitions. They like to either have a mat in a certain way, certain preparations they stick to.
I think that's true of all sportsmen. Have a favourite coloured shirt or a favourite pair of trousers, favourite pair of shoes. And in the great scheme of things, it really doesn't make any difference. But if it makes you feel good, then go ahead and do it.
Don't forget, well, I've got Francis with me. If any of you have got any questions you want to ask the umpire, now's your chance. I've had one or two over the last few days. One of the ones I know it'll crop up again in this game is this tee to tee at this club is longer than they play on the portable rink. And that's something that tends to affect the players sometimes, Francis. They forget it's that extra couple of metres.
Well, you have that much more scope to play with. The portable rink, you've really only got about 7 metres to play with from short to maximum. Whereas here you've got 8.5. So it does make an appreciable difference. And it's something that the players need to come to terms with. So, you know, if you want a short jack is 23 metres, but if you want the longer length, then you've got up to 31.5 metres here.
Hungry.
Yes, I was speaking to Jamie Chesney earlier and he said yesterday he took the mat up expecting to be playing a 26 metre jack, and when the umpire said it was 28 metres he thought, oh, that's longer than I thought.
Yeah, it's just the difference of dropping a portable rink into a normal playing rink, and thereby you lose a couple of metres.
Good ball from Mark there.
Last ball is 3 inches past.
What was that indication, Mark? He was talking obviously to somebody in the crowd.
Might have been saying no sugar.
Very true, could have been. Just under. Chance for Mark to draw another ball in here.
1 minute.
The thing is, in sets play, a game can get away from you very quickly if you don't come out of the traps.
Well, that kind of happened in the last game that you marked, Francis, in the second set. Didn't really reflect how well Billy Jackson had played, but Alex Marshall came up with virtually every end one really good bowl, which took everything away from Billy. Great game of bowls. Every shot in the book was played.
I think when you're officiating, the difference in a good game and a bad game is how quickly it appears to pass, and that seemed to finish before it started.
Well, Chris, might choose to play down the backhand. He is here. He's got his own bowls coming into the head. Any sort of promotion on either of the short bowls gives him a chance. This looks wide to me, Chris. Well, that's normally one of Chris's banker shots. His runner, he was off target with that.
2 shots, mark Dors. Set score 4-0 after 2 ends.
Nope, don't think he liked that. Got an emotional player, Mark. There's his heart on his sleeve.
Jack leg 27.5 metres.
It's a good track here. Plays with very swinging bowls as Mark. Needs to just give it a little bit more weight there. He's just overplayed this, good line. Just going to go through a touch. He's going to finish shot bowl.
I think with the arena warming up a bit, the bowls are just tending to run on a bit now. Certainly a different pace from yesterday.
Yes, Kurt Brown was in with me for the game prior, Francis, and he goes from playing first game this morning to playing last game on Wednesday. And he was saying to me, do you think that the pace of the rink will change? So he's going to try and get a practice at that sort of time of night. He's been practicing in the mornings because, of course, his first game was first up in the morning. It's a key thing for the players, especially the qualifiers that do well, to make sure they try and get time on the green at the time they're playing.
Very true, and it would help if perhaps tonight when the second game finishes to get straight on the green while there's a bit of temperature in the arena as well. And then just hope that there's decent crowds on Wednesday. There should be, because we're getting well into the competition by now.
My name is Tony. How far past, please?
The gap is 18 inches.
One of our newer umpires marking this game, which is Tony Hatch. He had his first full event at Potters in January. This is his second full event. He was trialled obviously prior to that, so he's a new face yet. His name's Tony Hatch.
It's always very tough when you start any new enterprise like this. Your experience gets you as far as this, but then it's a whole new learning curve. There's a lot to take in, which really viewers don't see on camera. But there's a lot of teamwork goes on within each game. There's 3 umpires, or 3 officials on duty. Each has a specific job, but they each then look out for the others and make sure that hopefully nothing is missed at any time.
Good ball here. Outdoors.
2 red.
Reaching on the forehand, maybe.
Yeah, he's got to try. Like I say, it's normally one of his strongest shots is a timer.
Looks like it. Swing of the arm there.
Just wondering if he's going to go bigger. Having missed with his timer at the last end. No, still playing the timer. Needs to hold now, or it'll just go.
Two shots, mark Dors.
It's always stated on the portable rink that that's a difficult shot, but it's no different on a club ring.
Set scores
You've
6-0
got to,
after 3 ends.
I think, just attack the head without any thoughts of the what ifs.
Yeah, and Chris has got the drive in his
Yeah.
armoury, so I think he might be well chosen to use it. He's playing the perfect bowl and just missing.
I think you cast your mind back a couple of years to when he played Darren Burnett here. He was certainly
Javelin, 27.5
set up
metres.
for that game, and sometimes, you know, when it's your second or third appearance in an event like this, you bring a little bit of trepidation with you, perhaps, as opposed to new on the scene. Let's get in there. I'm playing the world champion, and let's see what we've got.
Yeah, you're right, and that was the thing I was talking to Darren about yesterday when we were commentating on Paul Foster's game. It is the curse of the world champion. Darren Burnett lost here when he'd just won the world championship to Chris Gale, and then we've just seen world champion now Paul Foster was one of the big shocks of yesterday's proceedings.
That was one of the strangest games, you know. The first set was a massive difference, and Scott just played the tortoise to Paul's hair, and he caught him up, and just pipped him in the tiebreak. But it was a fascinating game to watch for a purist, in as much that it doesn't matter what the first set score is.
Your bowl is 2
You've got
feet
one
past
set to
it.
win, then you're into the three-end tiebreak. Anything can happen. One bowl can win it.
Yeah, very true. Scott Edwards now faces Jamie Chesney in the second round on Wednesday. Jamie was telling me the interesting thing about that is that Jamie got into the top 16 because he won all 3 qualifiers in a year at Poole, and in 2 of those qualifying finals it was Scott Edwards he just narrowly beat to win, so they've played each other before, so it could be a very, very interesting game of bowls that when we come to Wednesday. But back to this one, bit of a loose end from both of these players. Chris has got a huge opportunity here of drawing in for shot. Really needs to take it here, Francis, so much room there.
On top of which the set, you know, 3 ends played 6-0 down. It isn't a massive lead, but it can stretch away to a short set in effect. You need to get on the card now. So that's pretty good. You can work on that.
Interesting grouping there from Mark Dors.
Shame about the jack.
Chance for Chris to draw in for second bowl. Good track. Good hit. That gets him on the scorecard.
Chris Gale.
See a repeat of that bowl coming in.
Set score 6-2
Good
to
draw.
4 ends.
And they're the shots that can make all the difference. If you've got the head in your favour, yard for second, you must put it in there. So what tactics are we playing, short or long?
I think it's going slightly longer.
Up to the tee, there we go.
Jack length 30.5 metres.
No, good track from Chris, but he's urging it forward. Normally means a player thinks they're short.
maybe 15, 18 inches. That's not bad.
Better hear from Mark. Just pulled up short.
Mhm.
14 inches.
Looked to be running well. Very smooth delivery, Chris Gale. Plays for England outdoors internationally. Mark Dors plays for England indoors internationally. Mark Dors turns his hands a bit to Crown Green during summer. Chris used to play a bit of Crown Green, but I think once he got in the England outdoor team, he stuck with his outdoor flat green bowls.
Yeah, just read it. Is there a big Crown circuit that Mark plays on locally, or?
I think just in summer he likes to dabble at the Crown with his brother. That it's a long way to travel to any outdoor flat greens for us from here, so he plays just in a local league. It gets him out, so to speak. He likes to just keep it going through in summer. Very strong Crown Green area here.
Gap is 9
That's why
inches.
you've got quite a vocal crowd that were having a natter with Alex Marshall in the previous game. They're quite happy to tell you what shot you need to play or what shot you should be playing.
And how well you've played it.
Very true. Mark's very wide with this. Might have got second, not sure. Reliant on you markers out there to give us a good idea.
Three.
Well, it's 50-50 call most times.
Oh, he just sat in as well.
Some of the players, if you indicate a measure or a tight situation, they will almost force you into saying something. And we come to the conclusion that it's just to satisfy themselves in their mind of the shot to play. So they have a shot, they're just wanting confirmation of, you know, how bad it could be one way or the other. And they don't particularly mind if we're wrong on a close call. It's just a matter of the psychology of playing the next bowl.
Yes, I quite agree with you there, Francis. If one of the WBT markers or umpires says, I favour that bowl, as a player you tend to picture the head favouring that bowl. So I'm sure, as you have marked my games in previous years, Francis, you know you're a far better judge at it than I am. But we do all rely on the markers and umpires very much so, especially with the shot clock. There's sometimes where you don't really need to come and look at the head, you just want an idea the positioning of the bowls. Just wondering if he's looking at playing this down the backhand here, Francis, getting inside the green bowl.
Mark has 4
Struggled to
timeouts
draw off that
remaining.
forehand.
Chris has 4 timeouts.
Well, there is a line in there, and you've got the short green bowl to use as well, possibly. I know that players at this level always apologise for, you know, the lucky straighteners or whatever, but the shot is there to be played. Yeah, shaping up for a backhand.
Looks down a good line.
Needs to come
Oh, it's
down
just
a
hanging
bit.
off.
One shot, Chris Gale.
That was interesting. That really did hold off from his hand. It looked like it was going to be good. This is the shot of Chris Gale that comes in to draw in. Still 4 ends left of this first set.
And the context of it, I know the players always say the
Jack
seventh
Lake,
end is
29
important,
metres.
but this is as good as the 7th end.
Oranges.
Mark scores, he just opens up that little bit of comfort. Chris scores again. You're in for a good finish, I would say.
So is on paper going to be one of the games to watch of the first round. Might not be the most well-known of players out there on the circuit, but because they're both highly competitive players from this club, it's always going to be an interesting game.
Well, that ball was away swiftish.
I was just thinking, I'm thinking Mike Davis must be on the shot clock. I don't think he was disturbed with that ball. I think his thumb would have been poised over the button and not used. Talking to the producer of these streaming and saying about how quick some players are. And he was saying about how quick Mark Dors is. He hasn't witnessed Jamie Chesney yet.
Or Nicky.
If you get Jamie versus Mark Dors, I don't think the shot clocks even comes into operation.
It's fairly common that certainly the top 16 players, almost all of them get the ball away within 3 or 4 seconds. Certainly in the early stages of each end. It's only once they come down to thinking time that it expands a little bit, but it's rare that they'll use all their timeouts in a game.
Don't forget, if you can't stay with us this afternoon, all the results and news you'll find on worldbowlstour.tv, but hopefully you can stay with us at the Co-op Funeral Care International Open here from Blackpool. It was sunny Blackpool when I came in this morning. Not sure what the weather's doing out there now. That's a short ball from Chris there. I'm reliably informed it's clear, crisp and sunny out there.
Well, it was at lunchtime. I was trying to get a breath of fresh air between sessions, otherwise it's quite claustrophobic in the end. But yes, quick walk back to the accommodation. Certainly better than it was yesterday.
Yes, you could hear the rain on the roof of the commentary box yesterday.
Just room inside Mark's bowl there. Draw a second one. Just apply that little bit of pressure.
Interesting line from Chris. Very close here.
There we go.
And Chris is playing with aero bowls, for those of you that like to know what the players are playing with. And Mark Dors plays with Henselite. Tigers, I believe, out there today. Interesting, both of these players have swapped allegiances to bowls over the last couple of years. Change manufacturer.
Timeout call.
Always
After
interesting
3 timeouts
to
remaining.
see what players opt to play with. For example, the man that won this event last year is not playing with the same bowls he played with here last year. Same manufacturer, different bowls.
Oh,
He might have just been lucky there, Francis, and clipped his
that
own ball
chipped
out.
it beautifully.
One shot, Mark Dors.
Yep, the jack went out to the right-hand side of your rink, and Mark's ball went with it.
Fortune favours the brain.
6 ends.
No. It's at a key end there. Here we see Mark's ball. It just gets a piece of the jack and then a piece of his own ball and clips both out to the right-hand side. If it had been 2 down there, it would have virtually squared the set back up, but instead, Mark Dors, the world number 16, is now 4 shots up with 3 ends to play in the first set.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
I don't think either of them have settled that well yet. It's still a little bit scrappy.
I often find that with
Mm.
not necessarily niggle games, so to speak, but games where they're used to playing each other at other times. You know, they both playing a Wednesday league here. So they've played league games against each other, played nationals against each other. I know when they played the national fours, Chris led, Mark Dors skipped against each other, which was interesting. Chris opting to go to lead to keep his hand in for singles play. It's not paid off for him so far. Lost at the Scottish, lost at the Worlds in the first round. He's got in by being the top ranked player in the European PBA rankings, which got him the right to play in every event. Not made the most of that just yet, but quality player.
It's tough because there are no easy games at this level. You know, even the lower echelons of the top 16, they're difficult players to beat.
Well, the point in question is the game out there, really, because Mark Dors is the world number 16. So he's the lowest end of the top 16, and yet it's not a draw you want to get, and it's certainly not a draw you want to get on this carpet.
No. I think things would tend to indicate that they're evening up a bit with the number of established players who have lost in the first round in the last 3 events, this one included. So it's always a possibility, and really in any sport, if you're going to catch a big name, catch them in the first round before they get settled.
Bit of a loose bowl there from Chris. He would be looking to draw to Mark Dors' middle red bowl. Get rest off for 2. Chance for Mark here. Down this forehand. Bowl or jack. Looks down a very good track. Oh, he's just going to hold off.
Good effort.
One green.
Chance to make a second, but he's got to be careful on this. No jack movement.
Well, he thinks he's quick, I think, by his holding his arm backwards. Doesn't want to touch the jack. I don't think he's quick. Going to sit. Oh, another one of these aero bowls that's just sitting on its groove. One declared. Umpire being called. I think the umpire for this game is Steady Hands himself, Steady Hands Thornhill.
One green. You measure.
This is the other time where you're under pressure, Francis, because it's such a close camera angle we get on, certainly the overhead.
Well, the caliper measure I had this morning was one of the tightest I've ever had to do, and it was close in as well. I mean, the bowls were only about an inch away.
One shot, Chris Gale.
A replay here of Chris's bowl. It looked like it was going to run far enough, and it just sat on its grip, which possibly just sat it out of the count.
Jack length, 29.5 metres.
Good first bowl needed here.
Only 3 in it now. 2 ends to play. Mark Dors, will number 16. 3 shots ahead. So, touch short.
Not good. The bowler's yard.
Famous yard.
Wow, second opportunity then.
Two
2.5
loose bowls
metres.
there. Forget if you can't stay with us this afternoon, or if you're going to be rushing back from work to watch some bowls tonight, we've got 2 good games on as well. Mark Royal versus young gun Connor Sinato. And then Darren Burnett versus English qualifier Paul Maynard. The 2 good games on the cards tonight. Stay with us if you can. Better bowl from Chris there. Better here from Mark. Look at that bowl turn. Very, very big swooping forehand.
1 green.
Just didn't make the
7
trip.
inches.
Mark knows how important this end is. If he can win it, it would give Chris a task of trying to score 4 on the last end. But if Chris Gale can score 1 or 2 shots here, it would be all to play for on the last end of the first set.
Well, he waved his cloth at this one a bit, but it's still coming.
Looks good.
Good for 2. Big
2
bowl
good
coming
bowls
up
there.
now.
Yeah.
2 green. Just about 2 inches past.
I've not really got any sort of a target there either.
Nothing on offer except a draw.
The track looks good. Overplayed it, I think, Francis.
Just a bit.
Well, that's a bit of a loose bowl there from Mark. Chris has got an opportunity of slotting a 3rd shot in here. Doesn't want to make the target any bigger for Mark. Will be quite happy, I think, to draw down that forehand again. Keep it wide. Let the bowl do the work back in.
Good example this end of how the first 2 bowls dictate what's happened. 2 short bowls pretty much blocked out any running shots, so you're just left with a simple draw game. First in takes the cherry. 3rd one maybe? No, just run through. Not bad cover. Counter 2 for Chris would make the last end very interesting here.
Overplayed it again. Well, that makes it very interesting going into the last end. 6-7.
Set score 7-6, 8 ends.
A bit of static out there, Francis, and that wasn't you out there.
No.
It's normally
Nothing to do with me this
your
time.
electric charging out there. We had a bit of problems with static here last year. We hoped we'd eliminated that by buying a static get-ridder hoover. That's the wrong word, but sounded good at the time. It was a good plan.
29.5 metres.
I think the theory is good until you've got highly charged players out there and highly charged officials. All the adrenaline flowing.
Just hope the Oxford English Dictionary were picking up on my commentary there. New word to add to it. It was. I'm going to give my excuse here as I was looking at a question that had come through, Francis, for you.
Okay.
I was just having a look at it. The question from one of the viewers is, why are the markers chalking the bowls right away as soon as they finish on their course?
The simple answer is that's the law. Touches should be chalked as soon as they come to rest. I know in the lower levels, so club play, you tend to see touches marked when the next bowl is in progress, but sometimes with players so quick here and the speed they put the bowl down, you need to get in and out, and the law clearly states that touches need to be indicated immediately. Just had a question as to wedging bowls as well within the 30 seconds. Either player can request the full 30 seconds, but once the measure's called for, then it's the marker's duty to secure the head as quickly as possible and preserve everything as it is. But either player can ask for the 30 seconds, and you'll find that the official who's operating the shot clock, if it looks as though the bowl might be on the move, they will restart the clock after the last bowl is finished, and that gives an absolute certain 30 seconds. So we use a little bit of discretion on using the shot clock, but once the end is completed and a measure is called for, then the bowls are secured.
Hope that gives you your answer. Thank you for asking the questions. It's always good if you're new to the game or if you've just fallen on our streaming and you want to ask a question. We'll always try while we're on streaming to get them answered for you. Mark Dors has got a big ask here now. He's in quite a bit of trouble. Needs to draw a shot in here. Looks better. Can he rest on the back green bowl?
If he locks
Shouting
it in.
at it. Very emotional player, Mark Dors. You always know if he's played a good bowl, he tends to get vocal, shouted at it.
Bowlers always listen. Poker face Dors.
Time out call.
Got the time out here, Chris. Quite right to do so. He's probably chosen the shot he wants to play, but just doesn't want to rush playing it. He's chasing after this. He must think he's close. Watching it. I think he's very close. Any piece of this jack, Chris? What? But do you know? I think he's just been unlucky. Mark will just tell us.
He might be shot.
One green.
One green.
No, he's got a share of the set at the moment.
Murmurings in the crowd. I thought he was just going to be unlucky there. Got the perfect connection with the jack, but the jack just scooted a bit further than he wanted it. Now Mark, got to draw.
Whoa, the head went down.
He overplayed it.
I think so.
Well, first tied set of the event, if that's one green.
One shot. Mark Dors. Match tie. Beg your pardon. One shot. Mark Dors. First.
I think that's one shot to Chris Gale. Set tied. Seeing that shot now of Chris. Gets the jack, and it just looked like it had just run too far, but Chris's ball sits in for shot. Just to confirm there, Chris Gale scored the shot there, so it's 7-all that first set. Tied set, that means the second set, it's all down to who wins this, would take the match.
What are the odds on a tied second set?
Well, that was a very interesting set of bowls because Mark got off to an absolute flyer. A bit of a loose bowl there from Mark as an opener. Good metre and a bit short, that. Often happens after it's been a tense last end of a set. Just need to settle both players loose with their opening bowls.
Well, in football cliches, that was a game of two halves.
It was really. Mark got off to a heck of a start, but Chris clawed it all the way back. Probably on paper it deserved to be a tied set.
Well, that's what it says on the card. That's what we've got. But from 6-0 up, I think Mark might be a little bit disappointed to only end up with a half. On the other hand, 6-0 down, Chris would love it.
On green. The gap is 18 inches.
Well, Mark, can we adjust this? Run a touch. Just pulled up.
On green.
Oh, wafting his rag about again, which has normally meant that Chris has been overplayed here. Again, Mark just looking for a little bit of adjustment on his last bowl.
Scrappy end, really.
I think that was down to the fact that that last end finished so tensely is the word.
Yeah.
I think Mark played a good bowl and then Chris played a good bowl, and very tense. It means so much to both of these players out there. The winner of this game gets to meet Alex Marshall MBE in the next round. Looks closer here, Chris. That was a good bowl.
Two shots, let's go.
Well, Chris gets the opening end of this second set. See that bowl again. Perfect weight, just gets past Mark Dors' closest bowl. Resting for two. I think he liked that jack delivery. just wonder if he was trying to shorten the length down, trying to change something.
Well, it's a good way past the minimum.
Jump length 29.5 metres.
29.5. Definitely don't think he wanted it there because there was a definite slap of the thigh.
Unless he was wanting it on the tee.
Not a bad opener, just behind. Not wasted when they're just behind.
It's always easier to come back from overweight than to add it from underweight.
And that looks on a good track as well. This is all on his weight.
That's about the first decent lead bowl Mark's played.
2.5
Yeah,
metres
that's what the
back.
Mark Dors
Your bowl is
supporters
6
out there
metres
would have
past
wanted to
the
see.
Not reaching.
Sure if Mark's two sons, Thomas and Freddie, are watching in, they'll be pleased with that shot of their dads. And he's here again with another. I'm sure Chris's wife Jen's in the audience somewhere. I haven't seen her today, but I'm sure she'll be about. Big supporter of Chris. Just wondering if Chris is looking to try and change something here, reach into it.
Needs to open it.
Time-out call.
I think he would just be looking at what hand to play, Francis. Looks off the forehand from our angle, but backhand, his own bowl's solid in with a lot of weight. Like I say, Chris has got a big drive. Just not used it yet. Still going with the timer weight.
Go on.
Oh, somebody go out there and tell Gale he needs to go with a lot more weight.
I think he was maybe concerned with losing his back bowl because then he got no position at all. So played it tight and just overdid it really.
Mark will be looking to slot another bowl in, but ideally behind. And just didn't swing enough for what he wanted. I think he'd have been even happy if he'd have missed that and just gone behind.
Yeah. Either catch the bowl solid or miss it altogether really. Got something behind. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably beats the front bowl as well.
Going backhand this time, Chris.
Big call.
Brave shot this. Just played the draw.
That had to be perfect to have any effect on the end. Well, Mark, there's a bit of a chance for a third here. Perhaps if he lifts that once, he may even make the 4. Just look to make 3. 4th one's a bonus.
Just needs to rest the green bowl. Better for weight, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's quite turned it for 4, but he gave it a good shout.
Good shots, Mark Dors.
3 agreed.
So score 3-2 after 2
This is the
ends.
second bowl of Mark Dawes's. Drawing in, made Chris Gale have to try all sorts to move them. Big thought about what length to play now. And that's going back onto the tee.
Jack leg, 30.5 metres.
Just a metre short of a full length then, just over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good start.
Decent reply on the length. Good line on this one. Just lacking in pace. I think the thing that struck me most with this game is the lack of consistency. You know, just the odd good bowl here and there. And is that down to playing club mates, or the situation, or the event?
Very interesting one, that, Francis. Like you say, there'll be nerves out there. This game matters hugely to Mark Dors for his top 16 place moving forward. There's various qualifiers this year that have taken points off seeds and could get a good run in an event, could threaten the bottom 3 certainly of the top 16 rankings. Mark's one of those that's struggling, but also Chris Gale doesn't want to go out of this year with nothing from getting to that PBA ranked 1 place. Tony Hatch just saying he favours 2 shots there. Again, that goes back down to that favours. He's not said it definitely, but it gives Chris an idea where in the head the bowls are positioned. Looks good here. Swoops all the way back. Great roll from Chris.
1 green.
And he's got the shot, and it's a good position for him now as well.
Well, now Mark's in the position where his other 2 bowls are short.
Yep.
He'll play it down the backhand there, though. Promote his own bowl if he can. Even just slip past it to draw a shot. Nothing for him off the forehand. If he tipped Chris's bowl, there's a chance he could be 2 or 3 down. Play that really with enough weight. There's a chance for Chris here.
There is. He could lift Mark's bowl or just catch his own.
Lift his own bowl once he touches the jack, and like you say, if he lifts Mark's bowl out, he would get 2 out of it. Big opportunity. Got to take these sort of chances at this time. Oh, commentator's curse. He's playing the backhand. Interesting. I'm sure when he listens to this back, Francis, he'll tell us what the choice was on this. To me, if he catches the jack or reached up, he would give the shot away.
One shot for Chris Gale.
be all at 3.
All square.
Set score 3-3 after 3 ends.
Perfect little touch on the jack there for Chris to get shot. Not sure about the last choice of shot, but it's easy to say when we're sat here in the comfortable chairs watching the stream. It's not so easy when you're out there on the rink.
Jack length 30 and a
It's
half.
easy out there on the rink if you mark 'em because you never get anything wrong. You play the right shot, the right pace, and then the better players play the opposite shot at a good pace, and you think, well, that's the reason they're playing and I'm marking.
Yeah, often choice of shots down to what you feel confident playing as well, though. It might be the right shot for one player, might not be in the comfort zone of another one.
Good start. A little bit of adjustment needed from Chris. Get something close and work with it. The cloth's being waved again.
I think we've decided that the cloth waving bit is overplayed. That's a lot overplayed, Chris. Getting into the centre of this second set, end 4. Not the time you want to start dropping counts against a top 16 player. Mark's got to get another shot in here. This looks to be running.
It's not a bad spot though. It's still open.
And no target. Well, all on pace here. That's a very good track. He's urging it on. Just pulled up
Henri.
short.
My last ball, Tony, how far, please?
Your last bowl went through 2 feet.
And Chris's ball short now, please.
Chris's bowl is 15 inches short of Jack high.
Thank you.
The crowd's certainly quiet at the moment, watching every bowl, whichever side they're supporting. It's a tense time. A distinctive cry of "Oh, Mark" when he plays a bad bowl. He gets mad with himself.
Change of hand.
No, got to slip past that. It looks good again. What's his pace like? Close here.
Not quite.
One red.
Well, he's been not quite on either hand. He'll be disappointed. Still one red.
Wide forehand draw just dropping in makes life very difficult for Chris then.
Asking this to slow down. Overplayed it.
Shot mark Dors.
And just the one shot. 4-3 at 4 ends.
Set score 4-3 after
This was
4
the
ends.
opening bowl of Mark's. Stayed shot. Gone short,
Gale,
actually.
4.5 metres.
This is interesting now. This is the first time we've had a dramatic change of length in this game.
If you do this, you've got to nail it.
He's urging it on, Mark.
Okay. Good weight, but not a great bowl, really.
No, because it's a length bowl as well. Good target bowl. Interestingly enough, these last 2 days, if players have played a short length jack, they've tended to keep the mat back and gone short. One of the variables of the rink, as it is, I'm assuming.
Well, they spend plenty of time out there practicing, all hours of the morning and evening. Quite often when we come in for our breakfast, the players are out there practicing. And as soon as the last game in the evening finishes, out they go again. So they certainly put the hours in.
This looks under the line.
And run through.
2 red.
Two
Well,
red.
at the moment, it's paying off, this change of length for Mark. Swooping all the way back in this red bolt. It's a better bolt right behind the jack. That puts this under all sorts of pressure. Good line as well. Close here. It gives him a chance with his last bowl.
Yeah,
That's his own green bowl.
it's a good save, but it's vulnerable as well.
Mark will want to be in there first. It's widened it up even more. Chris can even get a piece of the red bolt. His draw line in, it would get him back to the jack. Similar bolt to his last, Francis would do it.
Yeah. There's a good catch there. It's all on the way in.
Close. Close.
Oh,
He's been unlucky there, really. He got the edge that we mentioned just to get into that little channel.
One shot, Mark Dors.
Great effort, that. He really probably wanted his own green bowl first, but
Score 5
piece of the red
5 ends.
we thought might have done him, but it just sat the way of the red bowl. I think Mark might play something similar because it seemed to work for him there. And I've gone a bit further.
yeah. Oh, good deal further.
Oh, that was definitely
13.5
commentator's curse
metres.
then. I thought he'd have stuck to something shorter really because he played that well. Chris found it with his last bowls.
Either that or he's just changing the length dramatically to unsettle Chris a bit. If you put first bowls in like that now, you're always going to be in the box seat.
Well, 2 up is Mark Dors with 4 ends to play. was up in the first set, and then Chris clawed it all the way back. Can he do the same in this set? That sits in. It's got a chance of shot.
Yeah, good reply.
Looks like it could be shot. Good reply from Mark though.
One red.
This is more the game I was expecting from
The
these
shot
two.
bowl, the gap is 3.5 inches.
And mine?
Your bowl, 7 inches.
It's one of those things, like say Francis, it could be that they're playing each other, which is always hard to do when you're club mates.
Well, it's building a little bit, but not in Chris's favour.
Rest the back bowl. Good bowl that. Touch on the jack to boot as well. And Chris has made up his mind what he's playing. Appreciative crowd here at Blackpool. I think he's hanging about here, Francis. I think he's going for this.
Shaping up.
That's the Chris Gale drive.
Pulled it.
Oh, he's off target. Slap of the thigh. He really wanted to hit it with that one to open it up, because if he is 3 down here, it's definitely 2.
Is Mark going to be looking for the spot?
Mark was looking at what would cover, and it looks like you say the spot to the right hand side of your screen might be the target for Mark here. Oh, he didn't like that delivery. It's that spot there that we think he's looking for. Doesn't look so bad to me, Francis. Shorter than what he wanted, I know, but
Yeah, covers the spot.
but it does cover that spot.
Looks like the jack would go out to that side of his head. Might just come off the second red bowl.
3 red.
It is 3 red. Yeah, Tony Hatch just confirmed that.
Big bowl one.
First time he's had a chance to nip in and have a look for us. Gone back to the draw. Try and cut the count down.
It's one of the skills you have to pick up as you mark on the WPT as to when you go in, when you don't. Everybody wants to know what's going on, as do the markers, but the players take priority at the head. And unless they specifically ask, you just have to take your opportunity and go in and out as quickly as you can.
And 2 declared.
Umpire.
Yeah, I don't blame Chris actually for getting this measured. I mean, from our angle we certainly can't tell, but if it's close, it just calms you down as well, gives you a few extra minutes. Had another question in from a viewer. This is It's not what I need to ask you first because
Okay.
I think it'll be a fairly easy one.
3 shots, Mark
Um,
Dors.
The viewers put, Janice, I thought a toucher was a bowl which touched the jack on its natural course. If it hits another bowl and then the jack, is it still a toucher?
8-3 after 16.
Yes, is the simple answer. A bowl in its original course is from the time it leaves your hand to the time it stops. If it touches anything in the interim, it is still
Away
the
24.5
bowl
metres.
of the moment, so to speak. It's in motion, as opposed to a bowl being hit onto the jack. So particularly you'll see us when players shape up to use a weighted bowl, we will go towards the bowl as it's coming down towards us. That way we can turn and see exactly what happens. We just focus on the bowl, where it goes, what it hits and where it ends up. So from the time it leaves your hand to the time it stops, that bowl is the bowl in motion. Touching another bowl before it touches a jack is fine.
Hope that answers your question. Thanks for your question.
It is an interesting question because if you read the laws, particularly bowls or jacks in motion and what happens where, when and how, is probably one of the more difficult things to figure out unless it's either shown to you or explained clearly. It's even on the umpires training courses, bowl in motion and a jack in motion, they form a good deal of the training time that's devoted in the weekend.
Chris clicking his fingers. This is through. It's not a bad bowl.
Okay.
He's 8-3 down. 5 behind, 3 ends to play. Really needs to count at this end.
Preferably more than one because, you know, 6 down isn't great. 4 down with 2 to play is not impossible, but it's not easy either. Mark certainly did a good reply on that one.
The last ball, yeah?
The last bowl.
And don't forget, folks, if we have another tied set, we will go into a 3-end tie break. But as it is, Mark Dors is in control of this second set. Well, that's not what you wanted, really.
These options are being cut down bowl by bowl.
Well, especially if Mark draws in it. He's coming back to have a look at it, not happy with his decision. What I think Mark's thinking here, Francis, he won't want to set up a target for Chris.
No.
Chris has got 2 back bowls now.
Timeout called.
I mean, for
Mark
Mark,
has 2
scoring
timeouts
1
remaining.
shot here is good. Dropping 1 shot here is good. He doesn't want to drop a count. And there's 2 bowls sat there. If he thinks Chris might go for bust, so to speak.
I think probably the smart bowl is to draw to the back pair, even past the back pair. Still not happy. I think it's one of those, you've got 1 bowl and you need to play 3 different shots at the same time.
Yeah, he's going deep. Just a very quick question for you,
Mhm.
Francis. Come in. If a bowl touches the advertising boards, is it dead or does it remain live?
No, it's left the rink, even if it's on a course which would bring it back into the rink. So even if it's on the correct bias, the WPT rules cover that. You touch the hoardings, it's a dead bowl.
Well, as thought, Chris has gone for broke here. Nearly got a result.
I think
One
that
shot,
makes
1
life
Dors.
very difficult for Chris now. 6 down, 2 to play.
Yeah, interesting question that though, Francis, because it's possibly
Set
coming
score
from
9-3 after
somebody that's
7
not
ends.
watched events before, and yeah, we have advertising boarding down both sides of the rink.
I think the shot we're just looking at there gives you an idea of how far outside the rink of play the boards are. The boards and the respot are such that you should be able to get to the respot without touching the boards. If you're wide enough, and it does happen occasionally. It happened once at Potters, I believe, a couple of months ago. Player wanted a wide bowl, and it went in the side ditch as it was then. Touched the hoardings, it's dead, and unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast on a single rink game.
Start here from Mark. Don't forget, folks, Chris Gale's got to score 6 shots in 2 ends to take us into a tie break. Otherwise, well, number 16, Mark Dors, steps into round 2.
It's a close bowl, but it's short and it's blocked, and he's got a very difficult task ahead of him now.
Yeah, he wanted that behind, really. Yeah. Even if it had gone a couple of foot behind, it gave him something he could use.
Two inches past.
The viewers have thanked you for your reply there. Very concise. That's what we say to you while we're streaming. If you have any questions like that in particular, the questions you've probably sat at home and thought, I wonder why, or I wonder what if. Well, we've got the guys here that can answer those for you. And Chris is reaching with this.
Let's not forget, if Chris doesn't score 2, the game's over anyway. So he needs a minimum of 2.
You'd have been happier if you'd have seen his first ball round the back there.
Yeah. And occasionally we're walking through the spectator area or the lobbies or wherever, people come up and say, how do you remember all the rules? Well, partly they're in there and remembered, and then partly we just gen up on them before each event, because rules are often changed minutely just to cover an eventuality or an incident that's happened. But that's the beauty of always having 3 officials on duty. You know, if something happens, you're not sure about it, you just turn around, take advice and move on. So it is a team effort out there. Yes, we all think we know the rules, but sometimes something that hasn't happened for a long time or has never happened will crop up. We just have a quick conflab and move on.
That's the joy of the WBT team. Francis, they all work so well together. It really is a team effort.
Yeah.
Well, that's not helped him either. That's finished short. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to change something, but...
to pick up 2 from this position with 1 ball left is a big ask. Mark has the luxury of playing a bit of a positional bowl, effectively saying, I've got a couple on there. Over to you, Chris.
Yeah, running for cover. I think he wanted it to pass that, really. Well, it's sort of set up a target, but like Francis says, Chris has got to score a minimum of 2 at this end. If when the dust settles after this bowl, green isn't holding 2, Mark Dors, world number 16, takes his place in the second round against Alex Marshall. That'll be an interesting game. They played 2 years ago at the World Championships. Did, yeah. Second round. Alex came out the winner of that one.
1 time out remaining.
Big bowl here for Chris Gale. It's to stay in the Co-op Funeral Care International Open 2017 here at his home club of Blackpool. Big drive. Needs the ball solid,
So
close.
Somewhere. That's it.
Very unlucky, game over, I think.
One green and that's
One
it.
shot, Chris Gale. Second set, match.
Well,
After all.
that was an interesting end to that game. The first set been so tight, Francis. It looked all the way like we might go into a tie break in the second set, with that being tied as well. But Mark Dors really put his foot down when we got to end 4 and powered through to win that second set 9-4. Good game of bowls though.
It was a bit of a purist game, so didn't set the world on fire, but there was some interesting ends there, and effectively I think the match tide turned in Mark's favour when he started getting the first bowl in there late on in the second set, and that's a good lesson for everybody to take on board. First bowl in there, you dictate the end.
Yeah, very good point, Francis. And again, thanks so much for joining me in commentary. It's always good to have a official's point of view and to answer some of the questions of our viewers for us. So thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the day's play. I'm sure you'll be out there on the rink.
Yeah, quick cup of tea, piece of cake, and then we're in for Mark Roll and Connor Sinato,
Yep.
and I'm on the shot clock, so I'll love you and leave you. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much for your company, and thanks, folks. Join us after a short break here for Mark Royal versus Connor Sinato.